Aren't you sick of Americans? Frankly, I am. I'm really, really tired of Americans and America and hearing about America and hearing about American politicians and Americans talking about American things with American opinions and American problems that I just don't really give a damn about. And you know what? That's actually the problem. One of the problems. One of the many, 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 many problems of social media like YouTube. But not just YouTube, even Twitter, Facebook, Gab, Odyssey, whatever. That if you go on there, what do you see? You see crazy Americans discussing crazy American problems and having their crazy American opinions about crazy American politicians, and it's all just Yanks everywhere. And frankly, I am tired of this. I am tired. You know why I'm tired? You know why I'm tired? Because I am not an American. I just don't care anymore. I don't care. The time when America was at the forefront of the world, the time when America was actually the leader of the world, the land of the brave and the free, and so on and so forth, leader of the free world, that time has passed. We've seen this. I mean, the crazy shit that comes out of that country, it's insane. And the problem is, though, the big problem is, though, that that crazy shit isn't just contained to America. I mean, I honestly couldn't care if Americans do crazy American things, but keep it in America. I would look at that country and say, wow, that's crazy Americans. What do you expect? But at least it's not here, so I don't care. But that's the problem, isn't it? Because Americans, they have this tendency to export their shit to the rest of the world. They want to share the shit. And frankly, I'm tired of that. I am tired of American TV shows. I haven't watched TV for years now because, frankly, I am just sick of American TV, American movies, Marvel movies. Blah, don't make me forward. Blah. It's so predictable, and that's the thing about America. It's all just so freaking predictable. We know where this is going. It's not original. I don't care, and just leave me the hell alone. That's pretty much my point. And what is the practical application of this? Basically, you might think, I mean, yeah, so I'm pretty much anti-American. You can tell, can't you? Yes, you can. I am really anti-American. I don't like that country at all. No, I don't. But the sad thing is that those Yanks, they think that they control the world. I mean, honestly, Washington, they believe that they are the boss of the world, that they have the right to go in anywhere in the world, doesn't matter where, and do whatever the hell they like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're bombing people in Pakistan, or whether they have their secret deals and their secret prisons, CIA prisons in somewhere in Eastern Europe, or whether they are spying in Brazil or spying in the EU or whatever. It doesn't matter. Or whether they are funneling weapons into the Ukraine or whatever. It doesn't matter. Everywhere in the world you go, you see Americans, they got their finger in there and they're just trying to wiggle it so they can stay in power, because Americans, they need to win all the time. They need to win, and they hate losing, and they'll cheat. They will cheat to win. They've done so for the past God knows how many centuries, to be honest, since their country started. They've been cheating. So frankly, I'm tired. I'm tired of Americans. I'm tired of Yanks. I don't want to hear it anymore. So this is why I would like to start these episodes just to talk not about America for a moment, just to put something on social media, on YouTube, on Odyssey, on whatever, that is not about the US, also not about Russia, if you can help it, not about China, except for obliquely, but about Europe, about our European problems, seen from a European perspective, with European solutions. Nothing else, just for Europeans. Because I think that we need this, right? I think that we need to have this discussion, this honest and open discussion about the problems that Europe has, because Europe has so many problems right now, so many problems. And the only way we can solve this is by having an open and honest and frank discussion about this, by honestly just saying what we think and how we think we can solve this and how we can fix this and what solutions we see. And we need to explore this. We need to explore the problems of Europe. And how can we do this? Well, by talking about Europe first. Europe first. By focusing on Europe. And that's the point I would like to make here. That's why I would like to start these videos, just to discuss this thing, just to discuss Europe and how we can fix this. And because there are so many solutions that we can find. Yes, we can. There are so many problems that we have and that we need to solve. Yes, there are. And we can see that the people who run Europe right now, who run this continent, who run this part of the world, who run the Union, that they're not really interested in fixing any problems. No, not really. They are interested in prolonging the problems. They are just interested in their bank accounts. Yeah, that's all. They're interested in treating Europe as if it were a spreadsheet, an Excel file with like little numbers that they can manipulate. But that's not how Europe works. That's not what Europe is. Europe is beautiful. Europe is rich. Europe is fantastic continent, really, if you think about it. If you travel through Europe, you can see that it is beautiful and fantastic and filled with fantastic people. Beautiful, intelligent people who can come up with art and science and creativity and language and food and so I have traveled through Europe, not even everywhere yet, but I have seen the East, I've seen the West, I've seen the South, and I've seen so many things about Europe that makes me love this continent. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and I hate the fact that this continent of ours, that this place of ours, is still under the heel of Americans and Russians and Chinese who just think they can walk in here and do whatever the hell they like, who think they can dominate us. We don't even think they can dominate us, because they are right now dominating us. And why are they dominating us? Because our own European politicians allow them to. They don't just allow them to, they even just say, oh, come on in, let me just give you the power, let me just give you the money, because it's so much easier than think for ourselves and come up with our own solutions. We see this. The fact that European countries have essentially outsourced their defense to the US for the past 50 years. It is a gigantic symptom of a deeply lying disease in Europe, which is the belief that we cannot do things for ourselves anymore, that we should be dependent on the rest of the world. It is this disease of globalism, this idea that Europe can only survive by being completely reliant on the rest of the world, by being reliant on orders from the rest of the world. The idea that we cannot do things ourselves, but we need to be told what to do. I don't believe in that for a moment, not for one moment, no. This is why I would like to see a Europe which is independent again, which is democratic again, because right now it really isn't. No, it's not. If you see how the European Commission is organized, how they operate, having both legislative and executive power at the same time over the Union, while being not elected by anyone, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The Union is not democratic right now. Europe is not democratic right now. And this is something we need to fix. Now, how are we going to fix this? Well, first by actually having an honest discussion about this. And this is something also that we're not seeing right now. Not really. We're not seeing people having honest discussions about the failures of Europe. Because right now in Europe, there are only two camps you can belong to. You are the really pro-EU, and you're saying, rah, 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 everything is fantastic, it's going better than ever. And that's basically what you get out of the EU, is pure propaganda, let's be honest. Because if you listen to people like Verhofstadt, that gas bag, or von der Leyen, our European empress, basically, then you could believe that actually everything is actually going fantastic, and it's only fantastic and it's going better than ever. And the only problem is that there are some nationalists out there in Hungary or whatever, in Poland, who are not playing ball, not playing fair. But that's actually far too simple. That's not true at all. That's just propaganda. On the other hand, you have people who become deeply Eurosceptical, who just don't believe anymore in the idea of European cooperation, European unity, just working together, who would become isolationists, who believe that you can isolate your country from the rest of the world and from the rest of Europe and just close your borders and demand passports again and just belong to yourself and nothing else. Because they just don't believe anymore that Europe is there for them. And honestly, you can't blame them. I can't blame them. I understand. I perfectly understand why you'd be Eurosceptic right now, deeply Eurosceptic right now. If you look at the EU, what's there left to believe in, honestly? What's left? Bureaucracy? Autocracy? A fake Potemkin parliament, which has no real power at all, but just discusses things and comes up with these weird, crazy, extremely left-wing ideas based on ridiculous science and unilateral discussions that only go in one direction, that's ever that way, and with no discussion or opposing views allowed. It's ridiculous. Of course, if you are skeptical about Europe right now, if you believe that you should live in a fair country, if you believe that democracy should mean something, if you believe that freedom should mean something, if you believe that politicians should actually be accountable to the law, then right now you can't believe in the EU. It's as simple as that. But that's the problem, because it means that right now there are only two groups in Europe, and you need to choose between those two groups. You can either choose either for the pro-EU rah-rah brigade, who are completely out of touch with reality and just live in their own little la-la land of pro-Europe, rah-rah, fantastic, super, woohoo, yeah? Or you need to be completely Eurosceptical and just say, I don't care, let's just kill it all. Let's just not work together. Let's just isolate and close our borders. But the problem is, though, I see the bad sides of both those positions. Both of them do not work. Because you cannot ignore valid criticism like the EU is doing right now. You cannot say that, it's fine, just let it go. That's fine, it's fine, let it go. Just that keep on going as we are going. Because what's the problem, right? You can't, because that's untenable. It's not sustainable in the long run. It's not even sustainable in the short run, as we've seen for the past 20 years. But on the other hand, if you want to isolate and close your borders and not cooperate, then you are logically saying that, well, we are currently being dominated by foreign countries, by foreign powers, specifically the US, Russia, and China. So by isolating, by not working together, we are going to continue that status quo of being dominated. That is what isolation means. If we do not work together, we are dominated. That is the choice we have right now. Work together or be dominated. Cooperate or die. That's the choice we have in Europe. And we see that nobody in Europe right now sees this, or is at least willing to acknowledge this, that this is the only choice we have right now, and that it is both folly, it's folly to be part of the rah-rah propaganda brigade, and it's also folly to be completely Eurosceptical to the point where you actually want to close borders with the rest of Europe and just want to isolate. Because if you think that a country like, let's say, Belgium, with 10 million inhabitants, can fight the Americans, or the Russians, or the Chinese, or all three together, then you're crazy. And let's not even talk about smaller countries than that. Slovenia, or Latvia or Lithuania or Denmark or whatever? You think they've got a chance in a world that we share with the Americans, the Russians and the Chinese, and even bigger countries like Germany or France? You think they actually have a chance against the Chinese, with the billion Chinese people, or the Russians, or the Americans, especially when they're all fighting to dominate Europe, as they are right now? This is the point. We need to work together. We don't have the choice. We need to work together, and we need to reform the EU into something that actually works, something that's actually fair, something that is actually effective, something that's actually democratic. All the things the EU is not right now. So there you see my point of view. My point of view is this: I am Eurosceptic. Yes, I am. I'm highly skeptical about the EU because it doesn't work, clearly. On the other hand, I see the point of working together. I see the point of a certain amount of European unity. European unity is required to survive in this world. However, does that mean that we should give up our national identities, our languages, our cultures, our histories? Even though those histories are intertwined, those languages are intertwined, but still separate? Of course we shouldn't give that up, because that's also who we are. But together, we need to cooperate, work together for a stronger, freer Europe. Europe, strong, free, independent, capable of solving its own problems. And this is not what we got right now. Because right now we have a Europe that is dependent, completely dependent on the rest of the world. Completely dependent on the rest of the world. We have a Europe which cannot solve its own problems, as we've seen. We also have a Europe which is undemocratic. Fundamentally undemocratic. Fundamentally corrupt. Fundamentally unfair. This is a problem. We need to solve it. We need to solve it fast. So this is what I would like to explore in these videos, because I think this is an important topic to talk about. It's an important topic to talk about, because only by actually acknowledging that we have problems can we fix them. Only by acknowledging that Europeans themselves have a society, have a group, that we have common values, that we have common history, that we have, and that history wasn't always fantastic. No, it wasn't. It was a bloody damn ass history, but we do have history together, and we must learn from the mistakes our ancestors made to create a better future for our children and our grandchildren and the coming generations of Europeans. So we need to look at reality. We need to find realistic, yet at the same time idealistic solutions for our problems. Can we do this? Yes, of course we can. We just need to start being honest about this shit. And this is why I would like to make these videos, and I would like to post some more videos also on more specific topics than this, because this is still a bit general. This is still basically acknowledging that Europe has gigantic problems, and, you know, addressing the fact that we actually need to talk about this a bit more, about the fact that Europe has problems and what we can do to fix them. So I'm gonna post some more videos also about more specific problems, more specific topics, more specific happenings in Euroland. And I would invite you to join me for this, because I think it's going to be very interesting and very necessary, especially necessary. So I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.